Hi, this is my introduction to the Cherry Audio Quadra, which is based on the ARP Quadra, which was a paraphonic polysynth introduced by ARP in, I believe, the late 70s. As anyone knows, I'm a big fan of paraphonics, so I've just downloaded this and I'd just like to go through all of the individual sections. There's a bass synth, a string synth, a polysynth, and a lead synth section. So I'm just going to go through each of the individual sections by themselves. So first of all, if we go to the bass section, you have an electric bass, and by default the bass section only covers the bottom 2 octaves of the keyboard. But you can change the split point to wherever you want. The electric bass doesn't have much in the way of controls, so you can change the decay time from short, make it longer, and very long, and it seems to have a preset sustain level which you can't change. And you can change the resonance on the filter. And there are 2 footages, 16 feet and 8 feet. So that's the 8 feet you're hearing just now. That's them combined, and that's 16 feet by itself, and you can hear that it goes right down into the clicky range. As well as the electric bass, you've also got what they call string bass, and the string bass is actually sent through the string section, so you have all the modifiers for the string synth. So you have control over attack time, release time, EQ, and you also, because it's going through the string section, it also goes through the string chorus generator, the ensemble unit. So the string bass sounds like this. So as you can hear, it's been affected by the overall string side envelope. And the string bass is monophonic, like the electric bass. And it also has 8 feet and 16 feet footages. And again, the string bass only covers the bottom 2 octaves by default. So that's pretty much it for the bass section. If we now move on to the strings by themselves, if we take out the string bass and we just bring in the string footages, so that's 8 feet. And the string section by default only covers the top 4 octaves. Now the envelope generator is a bit odd. It seems to be very paraphonic in nature, so if you put on a long release time and press one note, it decays away quite nicely. Play another note and it decays, but if you play them staccato, then each new note seems to rob the previous one. But if you play a chord, then it seems to latch it, and all notes will decay away. and it seems to be a similar situation with the attack time. And there seems to be a bit of a residue of previous notes whenever you do that. But overall it seems to rob each of the previously played notes whenever you play in a staccato manner. Playing legato means that you only go through the attack phase once. And the string section has 8 feet and 4 feet. So if we now move on to the polysynth section, the polysynth is a paraphonic synth. So that means it's using the polyphonic wave generation, which is a typical divide down top octave type setup, but it's being sent through a single VCF and a single VCA. So I've currently got the aftertouch patched into the VCF, so as I press harder on the key it opens up the filter slightly. Give it some attack. It's more of a brassy sound. If we just change the wave to a sawtooth, it's much more brassy. Now the polysynth only takes up the top 3 octaves by default, which I believe is the case with the original ARP Quadra. So lots of very cheesy 70s sounds at your fingertips. And if you want to thicken them up, then you can always apply some of the effects which Cherry Audio have added to the system. So if we wanted to give it some chorus, that makes it much wider and thicker. And if we now go on to the lead section, again this is a monophonic synth. Well actually it can play in a duophonic mode, which I've got enabled here. So currently if you just play one note, then both oscillators will just tune to that one note, so we can get some beat frequency between them. But if you play 2 notes, then it will actually play the lowest note and the highest note held. there isn't much in the way of flexibility with the lead synth. It's a very, very basic one. Has a couple of interesting features, but overall it's like a very straightforward 1970s type monosynth. So over in this section you can determine how much the bender affects different parameters, whether it be the pitch of the different synth sections or VCF on the lead. And the touch sensor you can either make affect the pitch bend, or again filter. Now the phaser section was originally on the ARP Quadra itself. It was the only real effect that it had internally. We just add a wee bit of echo to that. So that's my overview of the different synth sections within the Cherry Audio Quadra synth. None of them sound all that impressive by themselves, but I think the magic of it will be the fact that you can layer all the different sections and adjust your playing style to that. But based on my first impressions, I think it will be an interesting device to add to my collection. So there you have it.